Dr. King's policy was that nonviolence would achieve the gains for black people in the United States. His major assumption was that if you are nonviolent, if you suffer, your opponent will see your suffering and will be moved to change his heart. That's very good. He only made one fallacious assumption. In order for nonviolence to work, your opponent must have a conscience.
The Bible has not been taught in the earth properly except by the Israelites. If you're not coming under the banner of Israel, you will not teach the Bible correctly. You will hide things. You will ignore Scripture. You will reject Scripture.
We can't get the kingdom until we wake up. That's what everything is waiting on. That's what the whole world is waiting on. Once we wake up, the Bible said, then it ends. We get the kingdom. But we won't wake up. We won't do what it takes. We gotta learn. We gotta grow. We gotta get this understanding so we can get up out of here. So now, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. I just want to establish something because, well, let's read it first, then I'll say what I have to say. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. Because now we're going to go into, the video said we was Israelites. Multiple people in the video keep saying, look, you're not Negroes, you're not black, you're not African American. They're telling you you're Israelites. Because being African American means, that's for one, that's a hyphenated. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. African American. I'm going to show you a real African American. Watch this. Actual African American. We pretend African American. We not. That's not us. Let me find a real one. There we go. African American. There you go. African Americans right here. Well, this is Leo Scipio Africanus. That's what Africa is named after. Look that up. Leo Scipio Africanus. That's what it is named after. That land of Africa was not called Africa. He renamed it as Africa. America is named after Amerigo Vespucci. When you look up nationality, according to the Bible, it's by your fathers. For one, you cannot have two forefathers because two men can't create a baby. So we can't descend from two men. We can't be African American. Right. So the point of that is, and none of us descend from white men anyway. So we can't be African American because nationality is based on your fathers. Real quick, give me Numbers 1:18, one of y'all. Real quick, just want to establish that. One of y'all get Job 30 and 30. I mean Job 8 and 8. All right, you get 1:18. You give me Job 8 and 8 real quick. African American. And the reason, and you're saying, well, why is this woman here? Anybody know who Charlize Theron is? Anybody know Charlize Theron? You know her?
She an actress.
Yeah, she's an actress. You ever seen Hancock?
Yeah.
That's the woman from Hancock. She been in a lot of stuff. She was in Devil Advocate. She been in a lot of stuff. She was born in Africa, and she has American citizenship. She is an African American. You ain't no African American. But watch this. Read this, because it goes by your fathers. Yeah. Read.
She's an actress.
Numbers chapter 1 verse 18.
Uh-huh.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month.
Uh-huh.
And they declared their pedigrees.
They declared their pedigrees, meaning their lineage. This is what's coming, your genealogy. They declared it by what?
After their families.
Uh-huh.
By the house of their fathers.
It goes by your fathers. Whatever your father is what you are. Just like a seed, because man carries seed. Get Leviticus 15:16. Man carries seed. So meaning, like if you plant a seed anywhere, I don't care if you take an apple seed and you plant it in China, it's going to grow an apple tree. It's not going to grow a watermelon tree. Right. If you plant an apple seed in Africa, it's going to grow an apple tree. No matter where you plant the seed, it's going to be whatever the seed is. Read that though. This is Job 8 and 8.
Well, Job.
Yep.
Job chapter 8, verse 8.
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of their fathers.
So you have to search out your fathers to know who your true lineage is. Like some of us, you know, I mean, it's not a secret that through slavery, some of our women were raped. That's not a secret. Some of our fathers, if you go back far enough, you might find a white man in there. And if you do, there's a chance that you ain't Israel, because that would make you what he is. So, what I had you get? Leviticus. Yeah, let me get, oh, you got it. You got the Leviticus. Yeah. So, I just want to show that man carries the seed. Woman carries the egg, man carries the seed. Read.
Leviticus chapter 15, verse 16. And if any man's seed of copulation.
Any whose seed?
Any man's seed of copulation.
So the seed of copulation is sperm. That's what it is. So he's telling you that any man's seed of copulation, read.
Go out from him. Then he shall wash all his flesh in water. And be unclean until the even.
So that's all. I just wanted to establish that the seed comes from man. That's all we was going there for. Now, let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. We're going to start to prove that the so-called African American, the so-called Native American, the Puerto Rican, we're going to prove that all of them are actually Israelites. Because the slave ships didn't just stop here. Slave ships went all of them different places, and all of them different places is where our people are. Some of them have been lightened up by mixing in with the other nations, but they are still our people. I don't care how light they are. If they got the blood of Israel, and they don't have an Edomite man or a different nationality man in their bloodline, they're Israel. So it goes by the bloodline. But read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
He spoke to who?
All Israel.
Moses was speaking these words to all Israel. So when you read in the book of Deuteronomy, how can I apply this to anybody else? When he tells you in the very first verse that these was the words that Moses spake to Israel. Now, I didn't get to verse 28 and say, now he's talking about somebody else. He told you who he was talking to. And the Bible does that a lot. When you read through the Bible, it'll tell you in the beginning, these words is for such, like, watch this, get James 1 and 1. This is in the New Testament. Ain't nothing changed. The Bible is the same, front to back, front to back. Watch this, James chapter 1, and whole Deuteronomy, we coming right back to it. I'm just getting this to prove a point. Read.
James 1 and 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. To the 12 tribes.
To who?
To the 12 tribes.
This is the 12 tribes. He said he was writing to the 12 tribes, read.
Which are scattered abroad. Greeting.
That's who James was writing to. So when you read the book of James, why would you apply this to anybody else? He told you he was writing to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. How are they scattered? Like this. That's who he was writing to. That's what he was talking about. So again, I just went there to make that point. Go back. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 15. And we're going to start to prove in the Bible, we're going to show you your history. We're going to show you prophecy that you're going to look and you're going to say that this happened to my forefathers. This happened to my forefathers. This. You're going to go through these curses. This is the book of the curses. And by these curses, God said that you would be able to identify who the children of Israel are. Why? Because they would forget who they are. They wouldn't know who they are. And he said you have to go by these curses to find out. Start at verse 15.
But it shall come to pass, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Meaning if you do not listen, remember it's talking to Israel. It said, Israel, if you do not listen to God, read.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
To do what?
To do all his commandments.
So wait a minute. For one, it was a stipulation. He said, if you won't do all his commandments. That's a stipulation, if. So he said, if you will not do all his commandments. Now, I've been to church, and they tell us we ain't got to, I was in church for years. They tell us we don't have to do the commandments no more. We under grace. Really? Well, why did God punish us for not keeping the laws? Why didn't he give us the grace? Read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He said, because you will not keep my laws, these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you. You will not be able to avoid these curses once if you break my laws. He said you have to do all. It didn't say some, it said all. Watch this. Let's get some curses, because these curses are going to identify who the children of Israel are. Get verse 21. Verse 21, whoever got it.
And 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land.
29. And tell them what the book is. No, I was talking to this. So you finished that verse? 21?
Whither thou goest to possess it.
So he said the pestilence, that's disease. He said disease is going to cleave onto you. Now, a lot of these curses fit all of the tribes. Everybody that you see on this sign, it fit them. But this is how we come up with the sign. We got to go through the curses. We got to go through the prophecies and see, did this happen to this people or not? That's how we didn't just take random and throw darts and, oh, okay, well, yeah, the West Indians and nope, Puerto Ricans, put them on the, no, it was researched, lots and lots of research went into figuring out who these people are. But watch this. We're going to read out of this book called Black Indians. I'll put it up on the screen. We're going to page 29. Black Indians. Because it said that the pestilence was going to cleave to you. Now we're about to read about one of those pestilences that cleaved onto our people. Read.
The 80 million Native Americans alive in 1492.
When did Columbus land in this on this land that they call America now? When did he land here? Anybody? In 1492. Listen, it was 80 million of us there in 1492, but before Columbus got there, read.
The 80 million Native Americans alive in 1492 became only 10 million left alive a century later.
So in 100 years, they killed off 70 million of our people. 70 million. I can't even, and then they talk about the Holocaust, and they talk about so-called I'll give them the 6 million, even though it wasn't even 6 million of them in that, it wasn't even 6 million of them. I'll give them 6 million. That's 70 million. Y'all crying about Holocaust, and y'all killed 70 million of our people. That's just in this. That's not dealing with the 200 million that they killed that went down to South America, or the 100 million Negroes that they killed bringing us to America. That's 300 and that's almost 400 million. I don't want to hear about your 6 million. Read.
In 1519, when the Spaniards arrived, Mexico had.
So now they went to Mexico too. Mexicans are our people. Read.
Mexico had a population of 25 million of Indians.
It was 25 million of them there. Read.
By the end of the century, only 1 million was still alive.
They went down there and killed 24 million of them. Remember we read, it said that Esau would live by the sword. This is what he does. This is how he does it. And the thing is so shameful for us about this. One, we don't research. We celebrate 4th of July. 4th of July, the first 4th of July was when? Anybody? When was the very first 4th of July? 1776, July 4th, right? Where were we in 1776? We had shackles on our neck and around our. We was working and getting beat, and our women wrecked, and we gonna jump up and celebrate them destroying us. That don't make no sense. Why are we doing that? Thanksgiving. That's the celebration of the destruction of the Native American Indian, which is our brothers. Those are our brothers and sisters that they destroyed. We celebrate that. We say, yep, I'm gonna go get me a turkey and do this. And to celebrate them destroying our brothers and sisters, we gotta be crazy. Because we won't research anything. We won't look it up. We won't read a book. We let TV teach us. We let the radio teach us in movies. And then instead of picking up a book and saying, the history on that is, oh, why would I'm not doing that. And so, I tell you right now, everybody agree, somebody in here is still gonna go do it. Somebody gonna be like, well, you know, mama called me over there. You know, I didn't want to upset mama. You know, she got the stuffing just right. I'm gonna just go get me a plate. And then you down and then y'all doing it. Y'all got a Soul Train line going, and you right in there. It's like we gotta wake up. We can't get the kingdom until we wake up. That's what everything is waiting on. That's what the whole world is waiting on. Once we wake up, the Bible said, then it ends. We get the kingdom. But we won't wake up. We won't do what it takes. We gotta learn. We gotta grow. We gotta get this understanding so we can get up out of here. So where was we at? Oh, so that's all I need out of that. Now let me get this book. Another history book, archaeology book called 500 Nations. 500 Nations. In this book, I'm gonna put it on the screen so everybody can see. In 500 Nations, give me page 129. I'm going to show you something. As a matter of fact, before you get that, let me get page 30. This book is called Atlas of the North American Indian. Atlas of the North American Indian. You page 30 in that. I'm going to put it on the screen. Atlas of the North American Indian. Because it said the pestilences killed our people. Page 30. This is what he's about to say. All right, read page 30.
On page 30. Many other tribes were forcibly moved to Indian territory, which eventually became the state of Oklahoma.
Read.
The Indian territory in chapter 6, and with outbreaks of disease and war.
Outbreaks of what?
Disease.
Remember, it said pestilences would cleave unto us. Read.
And without outbreaks of disease and warfare, native populations everywhere began to decline. Indian wars and spread European diseases.
What kind of diseases?
European diseases.
So they was healthy until the Europeans came over here and started spreading their diseases and killing off our people. So that's the point. Remember, the scripture said, read 21 again, so we can get the thought back.
The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee.
He gonna make them diseases cleave onto you. You're not gonna be able to get away from it. All of this is the punishment for us breaking his laws. That's why it makes no sense for us to sit back and let somebody tell us that, oh, we don't have to keep his laws, when he did all of this because we broke them. And then all of a sudden he gonna throw it away? No, they're giving you a false, I mean, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into all of this stuff. We're gonna make it clear. So, all right, that's all I want to add. So now, go to this book called 500 Nations. Page 129, let me get it up on the screen. 500 Nations. 129. Read the highlighted part.
The long rebellion.
Okay. Yep.
The long rebellion came to an end, but only after the Spaniards agreed to Enrique's terms. The guarantee of freedom for all the remaining Arawak people, there were few of them left.
There were few of them left. Read.
Of all the millions who had inhabited the islands in 1492, only handfuls had survived.
Only a handful survived. Out of the millions, only handfuls are left now. Read.
On Hispaniola.
Hispaniola. Wait a second. See, we need to. Anybody know where Hispaniola is? Hispaniola. Hispaniola. Hispaniola.
Spain?
Nobody?
Mexico?
Hispaniola? No, let's get it. Let's get it so we can just be clear. Hispaniola. I think I got the map here. Yeah, this is Hispaniola. So it was a revolt on Hispaniola.
Oh, Dominican Republic.
And Haiti. You can read about this revolt that they're talking about right now. You can look it up. It was they kicked the French up out of there. And they got their freedom, but they still destroyed. But those are people. This is the revolt that we read about in this book. Right. So just want you to see what Hispaniola is. So now, let me pull that back up 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
On Hispaniola, 4,000 Arawaks remained to follow Enrique to settlement at the base of the Cibao Mountains, where the Spaniards let them live in peace and security. By 1542, 50 years after Columbus had first come upon them, the Arawak population was down to 200.
Down to 200. Remember, it said of all the millions up above, they got broke down to 200. This is your so-called white man. This is the one that, and like I saw a picture. I saw a picture on Facebook. Somebody posted of, it was a KKK. I guess I don't know what they was doing. They might have been having a rally or something. And the Negroes was getting at it. And the black woman jumped in like, no! She gonna save master. Like, really? After what they did, it's like, and I'm not saying go do nothing. I treat them nice, but I'm not about to jump down there and save you either. Right. Nah, hey, that's between you and them. But boy, we are destroyed as a people. We got to learn to love each other. It's always, everybody always say love, oh, God is love, and love, 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 but don't love each other. Everybody else love themselves. All other nations love each other. We the only one that don't love each other. We love everybody else. We hate each other.
Like crabs in a barrel.
That's us. Read on.
And the Spaniards were replacing the labor with that of black slaves imported in chains from Africa.
So as they were killing off the Indians, they was replacing them with us. They're like, all right, killing them off and bringing them in. We're going to keep this slavery going. But people don't realize that the Indians was in slavery. They don't be knowing that. People, they be thinking that they just came over here and killed them. No, a lot of them died because they got worked to death. Worked to death. You understand how hard you got to work to die? So it said the rebellion on Hispaniola, right? Let's get some more on that. Let's go back to Black Indians and give me page 35. Let me pull it up on the screen. Black Indians, page 30. Did I even scan 35? Whatever. Page 35. I just want this part right here, just to highlight. And watch, start before the highlight.
The spirit of rebellion spread like a wildfire that no European power could put out.
So they said that rebellion spread. It spread like wildfire. Now watch the places it spread to. Read.
In the next 10 years, revolt spread to Colombia.
Colombia? Look on our sign.
Panama. Cuban. Puerto Rico, and Mexico.
Those are all Israelites. They are Israelites. That's where the slave ships dropped them off of, but a lot of them was here already. We're going to get into that a little bit later too, on how they got over here. So that rebellion spread to all the places where we were. Why were they rebelling? Because they was in slavery. They was rebelling against getting worked to death. You're not rebelling against eating and sleeping all day and having fun and playing volleyball games. You're rebelling against getting worked to death. Get the pestilences and the curses. You was rebelling against that. So watch this. I'm gonna go to one more history book. I'm gonna go to this book. I wish I had the internet on here. This book. And you saying, well, that ain't really a book. It's in a binder. You wanna know why it's in the binder? Because this book go all the way up to $2,500. I can't afford that. I gotta get it the best way. But why? You should say to yourself, why is this book cost so much? Because this book goes into our history and it tells you the truth. And every time it's any book that come out, like I give you an example, this book $15, $14, $13.95, and then they found out we started using it, and then all of a sudden you go on Amazon and this book is $300. It's like they raised the price because they don't want us to get it. They say the brother nigga go get a pair of Jordans before he go get a book. We're like, so all we gotta do is raise the price and then never get this knowledge. But we gonna go into this book. This book is called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. You can look it up on Amazon. You get this book under $300, you buy it. Buy it. So, but yeah, I got this kind of version. Can't afford that. So we're gonna go into Lost Tribes and Promised Land. Get page 364 in that book, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen so you can see what he is reading. I want the highlighted part. All the highlights.
364.
364. Yep, all the highlighted parts.
Those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews.
He said those Indians are Hebrews. Wow. What made him say that? Well, we're gonna get some more. Let's go down. I don't want to skip let's just get to the point. Let's go down to what he saw. Watch this.
Waving a banner in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montezinos were standing at the water's edge.
So he saw it was a place where Francisco and Montezino was waiting. And so here come the canoe. Read.
The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in the Indian tongue that Montezino could not understand.
Montezinos didn't know what they was talking about, but watch this, read.
Although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation.
Just like when you go into the gas station and you see the two Arabs, they talking and they, you know they talking about you. You know they talking about you. That's what he's saying. I can tell they talking about me.
She then turned to her male companions to explain their situation. Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montezino, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema, what does it?
Israel.
Adonai
Ehud, which means
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
Why did they say that? Why did the Indians, how did they even know that? You got to be asking yourself, the Indians, which we understand in that they actually Israelites. But how did they know this if they was not Israelites? Well, why would they say this in Hebrew? Why would they find Hebrew writings inscripted on things in the United States of America? Where did that come from? Because the Hebrews are here. The Israelites are here, and they know this. They know this, but they hiding it from you. They like, that's why I remember that in the video, the guy said that they gonna spend as much money and have much military, whatever they got to do to keep this information from you, because they have read these scriptures and they know that once you come into this understanding and you keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, this place goes kaboom. The nuclear weapons are in the Bible. Nuclear weapons are in here, and it tells you what's gonna happen. And when people read Lake of Fire, they think it's talking about there's gonna be a river with fire in it. No, it's talking about nuclear weapons, and that's gonna happen once we wake up. But it's not gonna touch us though. So, go down. This is another highlighted part I want you to get. Yep. This is what they told him once they talked to him. Read.
They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
They said they was of the tribe of Reuben. That's why it's on this side. Read.
And that the tribe of Joseph lived.
Joseph is the Puerto Ricans. Read.
Lived on an island nearby.
They pointed to Puerto Rico. Said Joseph is over there. That's the tribe. That's the Puerto Ricans. So this is in this book, Lost Tribes. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of history in this book. A lot of stuff that once you read it, it's like you can't go back to sleep afterwards. You like, your mind is open at that point. So let's get some more. Let's get some more. Because we ain't even got in that yet. We about to really get down up in this thing. We gonna hit these scriptures in. Now, how did they get to this side of the country is what we should be saying. Because if they were Israelites and they was in Israel, how did they end up here? What are they doing here? Is where my mind went to. Like, well, what made them end up here? I should have, and excuse me for not scanning this, I should have scanned this so I could put it up on the screen. I did not. But they're going to read out of the Apocrypha books. Anybody heard the Apocrypha? Anybody know what the Apocrypha is? yeah, you know that good. You know what the Apocrypha? Anybody? Yeah, you heard of the Apocrypha? And they tell you, oh, it's evil. Don't read that book. So you can stay lost. So you can go and read the New Testament without the Apocrypha and say, like the brother was asking. He's like, why in Galatians 3:28 do it say neither Jew nor Greek? Because you don't have this book and you don't know why it's saying neither Jew nor Greek. You don't have that understanding. But this is a 1611 King James Version Bible. This is the very first version of the King James Bible that it came out. 1611. And inside of the 1611 King James Version Bible, you will find the Apocrypha. So I just want to show you that. Remember, I said you have to prove all things. Do not take my word for it. Make me show you. You're like, nope, you said that. Where is it? Show me. Prove it. We got to get into that point where we got to prove it. Don't accept my words or nobody else's. When you see, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see this, but you got the books that's called the Old Testament, and in the middle it says the books called Apocrypha, and then you have the New Testament. So this goes in between it. I don't know, y'all probably not gonna see that, but you can pass this book back there, let them flip through that and see. Yeah, open it to it and then take that back to them, and then I want you to read. We're gonna read out of this book because we need to find out how those so-called Native Americans got here. That's in the Bible. The Bible tells you. When we gonna go in the Bible and read it? So, you know, yeah, you already got it. So, wait till he pass that back and let them check that out.
Yeah, Old Testament, then
So this is what was taken out. This is what you're missing. And we only deal with the King James Version Bible. One, King James was a black man. We hear king and we instantly think white. King, white. No, King James was a black man.
Since we passed the book around, can I ask you, I don't know what teachers you're doing, but I know some of them wasn't here last time. And I wanted to know, can you kind of like touch back on the basis, or that's in the Edomites, and where it speaks about God said, I hate.
I get it.
Okay.
I get into
so
that.
they can see, like,
What I do is I get into all of that stuff, the side stuff, I get into that at the end, so that way this still flows.
And the neck yoke and all that.
Yeah, we're going to get to all of that, trust me. Trust me, we're going to make sure everybody see everything. So, while y'all looking at that, I'm going to have this brother read out of what y'all hold. And this is how we find out how the so-called Indians got to this side of the land. How they got to this side of the earth. Read.
This is second.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, no, I don't have that. Go ahead, read.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of the land in the time of Hosea the king. King whose Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters.
So they got carried over the waters, read.
And so came they into another land. But they took counsel among themselves.
So after that captivity, when they was taken captive by the Assyrians, they took counsel among themselves. This is after we was released by Cyrus. During the Persian and Mede captivity, they released us. So afterwards, read.
But they took counsel among themselves.
They took a counsel among themselves. The northern kingdom of Israel. When you read the history and understand the history, it was 2 kingdoms of Israel. We split. So we had the southern kingdom, which was called the Jews, and you had the northern kingdom, which was called House of Israel. So the northern kingdom, which is those Indian tribes and all of them, that's the northern kingdom of Israel. Read.
That they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth unto the further country where never no mankind dwelt.
They said, we're going to go somewhere where nobody ever been before. We're going to go to a whole nother country. Read.
That they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood.
So the Most High stilled the waters so they could make it through. And he also showed them signs in the stars. When you read the scriptures, the tribe of Issachar, they could read the stars to navigate. Read.
Till they were passed over. For though that country, there was a great way to go.
So it was a great way to go all the way from the land that they was in. They went to Assyria. So to get from the land of Israel when they leaving to come on, I wish I didn't bring the map. But to go all the way down and around to come to America, let me see if I got it on the map. It was a long way to go. It took them a long time to make it. Do I have any maps of that area? I don't think I got a map. Read on.
Namely of a year and a half.
So it took them a year and a half to make it all the way from where they were to over here. It took them a year and a half. That don't mean they sailed straight, like they traveled the coastlines of Africa, going down up under it, where they could stop, get off, replenish food, get stuff, get back in. So they kept going. It took them a year and a half to get it all the way over here. Read.
And the same region is called Esdras.
So now, let's see Arsarit. We're going to go to the Jewish Encyclopedia. This is the Jewish Encyclopedia, and this is talking about Arsarit. Could you read that for me, brother?
Arsarit, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
So this in the Jewish Encyclopedia, they figured out that the 10 tribes of Israel was going to dwell in this land called Arsarit. Read.
Observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration.
Meaning until the tribes of Israel get brought back into Israel, when God and Christ put us back in our land. Read.
According to 2nd Esdras 45.
Which we just read out of this book.
Columbus identified America.
Columbus did what?
Identified America with this land.
Columbus said Arzareth is America. The land that they called America, he said that's the land of Arzareth, which he just read about. This is the land. And this is the understanding that they have to themselves. This is the 1906 version of the Jewish Encyclopedia. This was before they even went into the land of Israel. And they came to this understanding. But they're not going to tell us this. They're not going to tell us this information. So, now, let's go back to Lost Tribes. Give me Lost Tribes. And I want you to get Deuteronomy 28 and 30. You get Lost Tribes, page 77. Watch this. Put it up on the screen. We're going to go to page 77. So, because remember, the Jewish Encyclopedia just said that this is what Columbus called that land, Arzareth. It became known as America. Let's get some stuff out of this. Read.
Columbus' ideals about geography were permeated with a particular religious
mysticism. Meaning, Columbus went to this Bible to try to figure out where the tribes of Israel went. When you read Columbus, which we gonna read it, and you're gonna see that Columbus wasn't just looking for some land, he was looking for the children of Israel. That's what he went looking for. Read on.
He kept a book of prophecies in which he collected quotations, mostly from the Bible.
And let's go down to the next part. Let's skip down. Now, let's go to this.
A striking element in Columbus' geographical
religiosity.
Religiosity is in its intent and abiding interest in fourth or second.
The fourth or second book of Esdras. They called it the fourth. It's the second book of Esdras. When you read in here, you go to second Esdras. That's what it's called. Read.
The two Apocrypha books of Ezra's purport to be additional writings by and about the Old Testament Ezra.
So Esdras is talking about Ezra in the Old Testament. It's the same person. Read.
But the second and fourth book is a piece of full-fledged Hellenistic apocalyptic writings that was often regarded with suspicion by the church.
When he says the church, it's talking about the so-called white man. Because we wasn't allowed, there was no church for us at this point. So they said they looked at it as with suspicion. Why? Because when you go in this, it also helps to prove that the so-called white man is Esau. And it's so much in here, and we're going to dig into this thing a little bit. Go ahead.
By the church, and just often embraced by the heterodox. Augustine had given guarded approval to Ezra's prophetic claims, and much was always to be made of this by the writing the latter defenders, including Columbus.
So Columbus was one of the ones that defended the Apocrypha, and this is what he used to find our people over here. He went through the Apocrypha. Read.
And the marginal notes to Columbus' copy of Deities, what's that? Is in a
relatively lengthy discourse on 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and 42, which reads, we're not going into that. So the point is that this is what Columbus used. He was using this to help try to find the Jews. Watch this. Let me get this to this brother. And then you get me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 30. You get this and give me page 92. And I'm going to put that 92 and 93 and put it up on the screen. We just want the highlighted part. But watch this. They're going to say some real interesting stuff about Columbus real quick.
92 and 93.
Start at 92 and then over to 93. The highlighted portions. I'm in 92. Am I? Did I put? Yeah,
I see
92.
how it is. I see.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it is.
There you go.
We do not know much concerning Columbus' crew, about 90 men aboard the 3 ships. But at least one of them was an Israelite.
Why did Columbus have an Israelite with him?
So they can
Identify their people.
track the other way.
Wait.
Why did he have an Israelite with him?
So so the Israelite can identify the people when they come in contact with them.
What you got?
So that so you could take them around the world, you navigate across the world.
What you got?
To track the other Israelites.
What you got?
Translate the talk.
That's it. That's why he took an Israelite with him. Read.
Whose presence
So wait a minute. That means he got to be expecting to find Israelites. He's like, let me take an Israelite with me, so when I bump into these Israelites I'm going to find, he can translate what they're saying. That's why he took them. Read. It's gonna say it.
whose presence as such was not merely accidental. That was Louis de Torres, a convert of possibly only that year, who had once held a position with the governor of Murcia. He was said to have known Hebrew.
Why did he have to know Hebrew? Read.
Aramaic.
Aramaic, because a lot of us spoke Aramaic at that time too. We spoke Hebrew, Aramaic, we spoke Latin, Greek, we spoke all these languages. Read.
And some Arabic.
Uh-huh.
And had been brought along by Columbus specifically as an interpreter.
Who was he planning him to interpret? What was he going to? He was planning on finding Israelites. Read.
One of the purposes of the voyage, as we have seen, was to find the Great Khan. And Taurus was to be...
Let me get it on the screen for now. All right, go ahead. Taurus was to be...
And Taurus was to be the mouthpiece of this encounter, presumably on the basis of his Hebrew.
They're like, we need you because you speak Hebrew. And I'm expecting to go and find people that speak Hebrew. That was the whole point. So, it's something going on here. We got to understand. Watch this. We're going to go to another curse. So this is just giving you some background on the northern kingdom of Israel being over here in the United States. Watch this. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. This is a curse. Who did this happen to? What nation? Remember, we're dealing with nations. We're not dealing with one or two pockets of people. We're dealing with an entire nation, millions and millions of people this happened to. What nation of people did this happen to on this planet? Us, right? When?
Slavery.
During slavery. This is when this happened to us. Now, let's watch this. This is a picture that depicts what we read. This depicts what he just read. He says, read it again.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Another man shall lie with your wife. Read. Hold on. Let me get something else. This is another depiction. You got the sister. This is during slavery times. You got the master coming back drinking behind her. She was assaulted by the master. Goes to talk to the husband. Now let's see if he can do anything about it. Nope, we see the master fixing himself up afterwards, and the husband tied up and got to listen. This is the kind of stuff that happened to us in slavery.
Imagine you and your family living in this barn, forced to live like animals and with animals. No heat, no electricity, none of the things we commonly take for granted. This is the case of one family, held as slaves up until the 1960s. We found this barn at Grange Hall Road and MS Highway 568 near Vicksburg, Mississippi in July 2009.
They would bring my mother to the house. And when they bring my mother to the house, one of us would have to go with my mother, so the master said. And so this was the particular time that I had to go with my mom. So they raped my mom. And when it came to me, I was sitting there crying because, when you don't know what's going on, I was sitting up there crying in this. And so the lady said, they coming to me. So the master's wife said to him, and the other brothers or whoever they were. And she said, And they was sort of looking, and she said, "Oh, no. No, honey. No. No." And she says, she's not even a heifer yet. I didn't learn what that word was till over in the 70s. And she said, she's not even a heifer yet. She's just a yearling. You can't. But they gagged my mouth, and they raped me just like they did my mama. And there I was laying in that pile of blood, a little bit of girl didn't know what to do. And his wife had to clean me up. But that never stopped.
Come on.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
So, this is the kind of stuff that we went through. Go down, let's get, and then it wasn't just us. Watch this. Give me, you drop down to verse 31. You give me page 21, 23 out of that book. We're going to go back into the book 500 Nations. Because it didn't just happen to the Negro. We always think that, oh, this happened to all of the tribes. But we got to know that history. This happened to all of us. Page 123. 1 second, we get it up. Read that. Watch. Oh, my goodness. This thing is making me want to fight when I read this one. Read this. Page 123.
Page 123. I took a most beautiful Carib woman, whom the Lord Admiral made a gift of. Whom the Lord Admiral made a gift of to me.
So he gave, the Lord Admiral gave this Carib woman to this person here. Read.
And having her in my birth, with her being nude according to her customs, the desire to enjoy myself with her came over me, and wishing to put my desire to work. She resisting, she scratched me with her fingernails to such a degree that I could not have wished, that I would not have wished then that I have begun. But with that scene, I grabbed a leather strap and gave her a good chastisement of lashes.
So when she fought back, he beat her. Read.
So that she hurled such unheard of shouts that you could not believe. Finally, we reached an agreement in such.
Beat her into submission. Read.
We reached an agreement in such a manner that I can tell you that in fact she seemed to have been taught in the school for whores.
Read that again, verse 30. This is what he's reading right here in the Bible.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
See, it just said it plain, but we just got details out of this book. We got a little more detail about it. Made it a little more real. So, now, my phone. Go to, let me get verse 31.
Verse 31.
Watch this.
Thy ox shall be slain before thy eyes.
It says another one of the curses was your ox will be slain before your eyes, right? Now we're gonna go to this book called the Atlas of the North American Indian, and we're gonna read page 59. We're gonna read about their oxes being slain. That all of this stuff is history, and it's all Bible prophecy. This happened to the North, because all of the curses when you read, some curses fit the American Negro, some curses fit some of our brothers in South America, some of them fit the North American Indian, but all of our people went through the curses. This is how you identify who we are, by these curses. Read that.
Across the plains and in the far west during the latter part of the 19th century, more revitalization movement followed in the wake of the military defeat and the disappearance of the buffalo.
Read that again.
Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes.
So what they did is because they was trying to starve the North American Indian out when they was fighting against them. So they said, let us kill off all of the buffalo, and then maybe they won't have anything to eat, and we'll starve them out. So that's why they started. That's why it says your ox will be slain before thine eyes. So that thing happened to the North American Indian. That's right. So now let's go to verse 32. Let's read on.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
Meaning, you said your sons and your daughters shall be given into another people. This is talking about a nation of people. This is not talking about one or two. He's saying your sons, nation of Israel, be given to another people. When did this happen? Slavery, right? Let's get a look. Let's visualize.
Please, 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 help me. Please, help me.
That was what we just read. It says you will have no might in your hand, meaning you're not going to have the power to stop it. They couldn't stop them from taking our daughter and selling them off to somebody else, right? Watch this. Let's get a modern update on that.
Please, of course, from you, Mr. Do not divide my family. Do not take me unless you take my children.
Liza, quiet!
You will have the most faithful slave of me, the most faithful slave that's ever lived, but I beg that you do not separate us.
Yes, boy.
Please.
Stop it. I will give you something to cry about. Randall, come forward. Come.
Did she have any power to stop them from taking our kids and giving them to other people? No. Read that again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
That was a curse that said would happen to the Israelites, the children of Israel. And that fits us. That fits us, and it also fits our North American. It happened to all of us. All of us went through that. Watch this. I want to get something right quick because he said the word. Did that N-word scare anybody when he said it in the movie? I know a lot of we say it to each other, don't we? Did that scare y'all? You understand that's in the Bible? Did that throw you? Y'all didn't know that was in the Bible? Give me that Acts 13:1.
That's an opposite meaning, though.
We're gonna find out. We're going to dig into this Bible. Watch this. Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Watch this. And I'm also going to go to the Bible dictionary. That brother said something about a different meaning. We'll see. Let's go to the dictionary and see if it has a different meaning. Hold on 1 second. Let me find what I'm looking for. Zombie. Okay. Let's go in here. I want you to hear it first. Read.
Now there were Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Nigger.
He was called what?
Nigger.
Oh, they've been calling us nigger for quite some time. But what does nigger mean? Let's look it up. Nigger means what? Who knows what nigger means? My brother?
I think the initial meaning of the word was they get the idea from the people that come from the Niger River area. That's what I researched.
Anybody else? The word nigger means black. That's what it means. Watch this. This is in the Bible, Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Where's the book? Get the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and get Niger, or well, you'll see it. It's pronounced nigger, and we're gonna prove it. Watch this. You gotta understand, most of the information you get from your enemy. You get from your enemy. He's not gonna tell you right, because again, if I tell you right, that means I gotta go on the bottom and you go on the top. I gotta twist you up. Watch this.
Niger, black, a surname of Simeon, one of the 5 prophets and teachers of the church of Antioch.
Which was what we just read in Acts chapter 13. But what did it say it means?
Black.
It means black. Just like they call you Negro. What does that mean? Black. What did they call you? Our people call us, we Moors. What does Moor mean? Black. We be calling the same thing as different languages, but the same thing. They keep calling us black, calling us black, calling us black. They've been doing it all the way since Bible time. Watch this. And that word is not pronounced Niger. That word is pronounced nigger. Read this. Well, this is the verse. I want you to read this highlighted part. This is from a book called Africa's Gift to America. read this. This scholar went and researched and found out about that word.
These first Africans were variously called Niger, from the river Niger, Nigra, Nigger, Ethiopian, Moor. Nigger was pronounced not Niger, but nigger.
That's what he went and researched and found, that word was always pronounced nigger, not Niger. Niger is to throw you off. So when you read in the Bible, why would they call him black? I remember they say this is a white man's book. Why is everybody black? Why is Christ black, God black, the Israelites black, everybody black, but it's a white man's book? And the white man in the book is Esau, the only people in the book that God said he hated. How is it a white man's book? Let's get some more. We get that information. So now, give me verse 37.
Verse 37.
Watch this.
And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Are we not an astonishment? You trying to tell me you don't see a young brother walking down the street with his pants below his butt and you don't say, what the hell? We are an astonishment. Come on, read.
A proverb and a byword.
A proverb and a byword mean that we would be called out of our natural names. A proverb is a wise saying. So that means, or like a stereotype. Niggas don't read. You want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. That's wise sayings. And a byword is being called out of your name, or an epithet, like nigger or a punch monkey, coon. All of that's epithets. So now, read verse 41.
Verse 41.
Oh, did you finish that one?
No.
Read it.
Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
In all the places that the Lord is going to scatter us to, we will be bywords and proverbs. Everywhere. Like when you look our people up, they got names for all of them. Spick, went back. It always got a name or something for us. It's always a name. That's what the Bible prophesied. Read on. I mean, no. That was it.
Yeah.
Go to verse 41.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
Oh, I got to get some pictures. Hold on. Go ahead.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Hey, got the kids out there working too. Said your kids, you're not going to enjoy them because they're going to go into captivity. That's what this is a picture. This is not a drawing. This is a photograph. This is real. Let's get some more. Let's get some more. They got kids out there working too. That's what we just read. We just read this. Oh, that's something else. Okay, so where am I at? Where am I at? Now let's go to verse 43.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shall come down very low. So the stranger that was around us was going to get up high, and we was going to come down low. That's not the natural position. God wanted us on high and them on low. But because of our sin, because of us breaking his laws, he's like, you know what? I'm going to flip it. You're going to be on the bottom, and I'm going to take the bottom people of the planet and put them on top. Read. He shall lend to thee.
He going to lend to you.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
Do we lend money to any other nationalities? Do Chinese people come and like, hey, you know, I need a loan, you know, I know you're going to charge me 25% interest on that, but I need that money. No, we borrow. That's all we do is borrow. We do not lend any money to anybody. Even when we lend money to a cousin, that ain't a loan. You gave it to him. You ain't getting it back. So we don't lend no money. So, you know.
He shall be the head.
He going to be the head. He going to be the leader.
And thou shalt be the tail.
And you're going to be on the bottom. That's where we at right now because of sin.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
Until we are destroyed right now. We are destroyed people. Again, like I said in the beginning, everybody wrote something different on their paper. I don't even want to ask. Please don't tell me nobody wrote Afro-American. Please don't say you wrote Afro-American. Ain't nobody even got an afro. How you gonna be a hairstyle American? My brother gonna be braids American. You know what I mean? The brother gonna be a Detroit Tiger hat American. No, you can't do that. Read on.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Because we wouldn't listen to God is why we going through this. Read.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
Read on. Watch this one.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
It says they. When it says they, it's talking about the curses. It said the curses are going to be upon you for a sign. What does a sign do? Somebody. You was here last time. Let me get somebody else.
Go ahead.
Somebody, what does a sign do? Somebody, what does a sign do, my brother?
Yeah, it sticks about the ground to show you, you know where to go or what not to do. Gives you direction.
What is a sign? A sign.
A sign could be someone that comes up to you and tell you, okay, I'm giving you this sign, like something like that.
Could be.
Like the truth.
Let me tell you. When y'all came here, at the corner, what they got?
A sign.
And what did that sign do?
Directed.
It told you that this was Rutherford, right? It identified where Rutherford was. You looked at the sign and said, we take all them signs now. And you never been here, and we tell you go to Rutherford. You're like, what the? I don't know, I have a clue where that's at. So it identified what Rutherford was, and he told you that these curses would be a sign. So you can identify who the children of Israel are. Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
The curse is going to be on you for a sign. Read.
And for a wonder.
And for a wonder.
And upon thy seed forever.
When it says upon thy seed forever, it means until Christ comes back, because then everything ends. So when Christ comes back is when this ends. So upon thy seed forever. Watch this. Let's get verse 48. 48. Let's get verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
So you serve your friends.
Thy enemies.
Your friends, brother.
Thy enemies.
It says you're going to serve your enemies. Now, another thing, our people, we act like we don't have enemies. Like our friends put us on slave ships. Our friends sold our daughters off and raped our mothers and grandmothers and chopped our feet off when we ran and branded runaway on our forehead. Those was our friends. That's how we look at the world. No, them same people, when you look through the history of the things that they did to us. And people always say, well, it wasn't me. But when you see the pictures, they had their kids with them. They had kids. When they burning us alive, they had kids standing right there in the picture smiling. And them kids grew up. And what them kids doing? Teaching your kids. They're your teachers. They're your politicians. Them your lawyers. Them the same kids. And what you think their kids gonna do? The same thing. The same thing. But we look and say, nope, we ain't got no enemies. Everybody love me. Even though they set liquor stores in your community, they don't have them in there. You understand? You're about to have a city planner. You can't just say, I'm gonna put a liquor store here. They sat down, they looked at it, they said, okay, well, you can put liquor stores here, but not here. You can put a bar here, but not there. You can put a strip club here, but why is it only in your neighborhoods? Somebody sat down and planned it out and said, we want all that stuff here. We want to destroy them. We don't want our children destroyed. We don't have, it's far, when you go to the suburbs, you got to, like hell trying to find a liquor store. You can't find nothing. It's like, you come here, you can't stop but finding them. You drive down one street, you're going to see 50 of them. So, but read on.
Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord sent them against us. Read.
In hunger.
In hunger, meaning if you need food, you got to go to your enemies. We don't own Kroger, we don't own Costco, we don't own Myers, we don't own none of that. Our enemies own that. And he said, and when you hungry, you got to go to them. Burger King, we don't own none of that stuff. Read.
And in thirst.
You want some water. You turn on, if you don't pay your water bill, they going to turn it off. You got to serve your enemy to keep getting water. If you catch rain, in certain states, they passing laws that you can't even capture rainwater. You got to pay tax on it. You can't have solar panels on your house. You can barely put it on there, but you're going to pay them taxes for having the solar panel on your house.
What? I didn't know that.
Right.
Read on.
And in nakedness.
In nakedness, meaning if you need clothes, you got to serve your enemy. Who in here made their own clothes? Anybody? You made some pants?
No, I'm just playing.
All right. But this the thing. Even if you make some clothes, did you make the raw materials too? Did you grow the cotton yourself? No. Everything we get, we got to get from somebody else. Everything. from a birth certificate to a death certificate. From a marriage license, for toilet paper, everything you need in your life, you have to go to your enemy. There's nothing that we produce, nothing. We have no exports. We don't sell anything to any other countries. We buy everything from everybody else. We're the only nation on the planet that's like that. That we make nothing. I don't care where you go. You can go to any other nation in the world. They make something. They make something. We make nothing. Read.
And in the want of all things.
In the lack of all things. Meaning anything you lack, you gotta go to somebody else. Read.
And he,
this same enemy,
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
What is a yoke of iron?
A chain.
Yeah, it's a chain. That's good. No, give him a picture of a yoke of iron. We ain't making stuff up. This is evidence. Everything that we read, we got evidence to show what it is, who did it. We got all of that. Yeah, look at that top one, the top row. Those are yokes of iron. He said he would put a yoke of iron upon your neck. Read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Meaning once he got you destroyed, he can take the yoke off because you're not going nowhere. Where you gonna go? You're not going up. You destroyed now. We don't even want to leave. Watch this. I wasn't even gonna do this, but watch this video. Watch this.
There was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You're nothing but a house Negro. And if someone come to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say.
Like, we don't want to separate. We love America. How can we in the ghetto? We in the bottom. Even our ones that, they done made it a little bit. They moved to Southfield, They got a little more grass out in front of their house. It's like, you still on the bottom. You cannot surpass your race. Oprah learned that. She went over there and she wanted to look at that bag. That woman looked at her and said, nigga, you can't look at this. You can't afford it. She didn't know she was Oprah. So we could have bought that whole, everything that you were standing in. But she was still a nigga to them. And that's how they look at us. And we got to understand, we got to separate and unite with ourselves like other nations do. Like when you look at the Asians or you look at the different white nations that come over here, they band together. You look at the Arabs, they band together and work together to help build each other up. We don't do that. We see another one of us getting some money and we mad. Like, what you doing with a new car? Why that person doing this and that and this, or they coming to do some business for you? We won't get a business to our brother. We go out our way and find a white man to get that business. I know, because we worked it, like all of us worked in construction. We'd go out and we'd go to do the construction and we'd give an estimate, be half the price of what the white man offered and said, white man double. White man get the job. We don't even get the job. It's like our people hate, we hate each other. We don't want to see each other get ahead. That's because they destroyed us. They took us away from this. And they did this to us. They did this really rich to us. And when you read this, this is why we are like this. And it said that this phenomenon would go on for 300 plus years. If they did it right, this thing would go on for 300 plus years, and we still in it. So they must have did it right. So, but we'll come back to that. So let's move forward. Let's get some more. Get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 64. Because we're going to get a major point out of this thing, because so far we've been showing that these things happen to the Israelites. We're going to get to the point where it's going to get so clear that it's like, this ain't happening to nobody else. It's like, there's nothing else you can say about it. Read this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other.
The scattering. This is the scattering. 1619, transatlantic slave trade. Read.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Said that we was going to serve other gods, wood and stone. What does the wood and stone represent? It said we would serve other, not you. You was here before. Now I want to talk about you, brother. Not the behind you. Not you. Yeah, let me get you.
Jesus. Then it said, Jesus was
You cooking with fire. You gotta nail it down a little more. You cooking with fire though. Let me get you.
The cross.
The cross. That's the wood. What's the stone? What's the stone?
The nail.
The cobble.
The cobblestone. Let's look at that thing. Because the Muslims worship a rock, and we follow it. How are we gonna follow somebody worshiping a rock? Inside of here is a rock, and they gotta go in there and kiss the rock, and they gotta walk around it 7 times. They call it a hajj. They walk around it 7 times, and they bow to the rock, and then they gotta go in there and kiss the rock. And we follow that thing. Our people in that, and it's like, what's wrong with us? We so lost, but God said that would happen. That was a prophecy. He said we would follow other gods that our fathers didn't know. Our fathers never heard of Christianity. There was no such thing as Christianity back then. That was invented by the so-called white man. You know, when we go to church on Sunday, that is not, the 7th day of the week is Saturday. God said keep the Sabbath holy. What do? They told you, no. Go on Sunday. It's keeping you off. That's just like if you're a basketball coach. And I tell you, we're going to have practice at Friday at 5 o'clock. You show up at Saturday at 7 o'clock and you missed it. And that's what we're doing when we go to church on Sunday. We missed it. God was there that day. He waiting on you. We ain't there. We come tomorrow. We catch you later. Read verse 68. Watch this. This is a major. This is the nuclear bomb of curses. Because after this, there's nobody that you can, even if you might say, somebody might be thinking, I think that might have happened to the Chinese. It didn't happen to the Chinese. Even if you may be thinking something like that. After this nuclear bomb curse, there's nothing you can say. Give me the nuke.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
What does the word Egypt mean? Bondage. Egypt means bondage. So he said that the Lord will bring you into slavery or bondage again with ships. Give me my slave ships. Where's my slave ships? Yeah, that's my slave ships. He said the Lord will bring you into Egypt or slavery again with ships. Who did that happen to? Did it happen to anybody else? Now, maybe everybody don't know, this also happened to the Northern Kingdom. This happened to the Native American tribes as well. They went into slavery on ships. Watch this. We're going to read something about that. You get Exodus 20 and 2 for me real quick. Read that, and then we're going to go back. to Deuteronomy 6. And then I want you to get page I want out of that book, page 26 out of this book called Black Indians. Page 26. And I just want the first part of what I don't want all of it. I just want this top part starting from 4. I want all the way up here. You can stop where it ends. Yeah. Hold on, but let him get that first. Okay.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2.
So we got to go to the Bible and get the understanding of Egypt. Now there's other ways to look up the word Egypt, and you're going to find that it means bondage. But the Bible also defines it. The Bible will define the words used in the Bible. You just got to know where to find it. Read this in Exodus 20 and 2, which is many places. It's going to give you the definition of the word Egypt. Read.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
They called it the house of bondage. That's what Egypt is. It means bondage or slavery. So that's what it means. So when it says, read Deuteronomy 28:68 again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord is going to bring you into slavery again.
With ships.
With ships. That's what it's talking about. So now, give me that in this book called Black Indians.
For the people of the Americas, the arrival of Columbus was hardly a blessing.
Meaning the North American Indian that was already here. Read.
On his first day.
On his what day?
On his first day.
This what we about to read is what Columbus did on his very first day. Read.
October 12, 1492. The explorer wrote in his diary, I took some of the natives by force.
Wait a minute. This is what Columbus wrote in his own diary. He said, I took some of the natives by force. Read.
He later found the original inhabitants to be tractable, peaceable, and concluded there is not in the world a better nation. His response as a European was to say that Indians must be made to work.
They must be made to work, meaning become slaves. Read.
And adopt our ways.
Now I want this next part. I want down here where it says he started by. Right here.
Wait, I don't see a person.
Or really, you can just start up here. Let's just start at the beginning of that, so it's gonna be confusing.
The Christopher Columbus, whose unique seamanship and courage had opened the Americas to European penetration, also began the transatlantic slave trade.
So people always say the transatlantic slave trade started in 1619 when they shipped us over here from the west coast of Africa. But it started in 1492 on his first day when he got here and shipped the Indians away from here back to Spain. Read on, watch this.
He started by shipping 10 chain Arawak men and women to Seville, Spain. He wrote enthusiastically to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella about the business possibilities. From here, in the name of the Blessed Trinity,
they call this the Blessed Trinity. Read.
We can send all the slaves that can be sold. When he loaded 1,100 Taino men and women aboard 4 Spanish ships, the crowding and the stormy Atlantic crossing took a fearful toll. Only 300 survived. But Columbus in Spain had decided to continue the profitable slave trade from the Americas. Seville became the slave capital of Spain.
You see that? So they decided, they said, even though we took 1,100 and only 300 survived, they're like, hey, this is profitable. They didn't care about the 800 that got killed. They're like, no, 300 made it. This is good. And they said, we're going to continue this. This is what they were doing to the North American Indian. But people don't be knowing that history about what happened to our other brothers and sisters. We know a little bit of our history, but we don't know that happened to them too. They went through the same things. They was raped, they was beaten, they was sold off into slavery, worked to death. But they don't talk about that. Even now, they put them on reservations. That's like a third world country. They don't. A lot of them don't even have running water. But we look and it's like reservations. We think like a hotel, the Hyatt or something. Reservations, like they got their feet kicked up on something. It's like no, they over there getting destroyed. And it's like, you know, we gotta get the understanding of what's really happening. Now, I want to go into this book. My fault. Go back to Deuteronomy 28:68 for me. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Watch this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he gonna bring us into Egypt again with ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
He said you will not see your homeland no more again once you go in slavery. Have we seen our homeland again? No. Where's our homeland? So y'all know now. Yeah. So our homeland is Israel, in Jerusalem. That is our homeland. So, and matter of fact, get that. Give me Galatians 4:26. But you finish.
And there,
once you got off them slave ships, read.
Ye shall be sold.
You shall be sold.
Unto your enemies.
To your friends.
Enemies.
To your friends.
Enemies.
It says you will be sold to your enemies. Read.
For bondmen.
For slave men.
And bondwomen.
And slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
Meaning nobody will be able to buy you out of that slavery. They will not be able to be redeemed. Nobody can say, oh, okay, like if you owe a debt in these times and you went into slavery, like you can sell yourself. Like, well, you know what, I owe you $500. I'll be your slave for 6 months to pay that off. Nobody can come up and say, hey, I got the $500, let them go. No. Once you go into this slavery, you stuck. You're going to be in that thing until Christ comes back. And we still here. We still here. We look at ourselves as free, but we are actually still in slavery. It's just a smarter slavery. They don't have to come out and beat us every day. What do? They put guns in our community and liquor and let us beat ourselves. They don't have to do it no more. They sitting back like this. They're like, shh, they beat themselves. It's like a, but that's where we at. Matter of fact, you read that, I want you to get me that in Baruch 3:8. Oh, you got your own. Baruch 3:8, because we still slaves right now today. Even though we sitting here, nobody really got a chain on us. Like, can we go? Can we leave if we want to? If I want to jump on, I say, you know what? Jerusalem is my home. I know where home is. I'm about to go. I got to go ask the white man. Can I get a passport? Oh, I don't pass the security clearance. Oh, I can only go between this time and this. No, I can't do what I want to do. I got to do what I'm allowed to do. Read that.
Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
We are yet this day in our captivity. We still in it. We're going to be in it until Christ comes back. We have to, but we have to repent so we can get out of this thing. We got to repent. And repentance is to turn away from sin. Meaning whatever sin you are in, you don't do it no more. Repentance is not just, oh, I confessed it. Okay, but you're still smoking the weed. What difference did it make? You didn't stop. You're supposed to stop doing it. So once we repent, we can get out of here. The Lord is looking to wake up 144,000 men. 144,000 men will be the leaders of the nation of Israel in the kingdom, and the rest of it's going to be 1/3 of all Israel, women, children, everybody else. 1/3 of the nation of Israel. So, like, let's say it's probably about 1 billion of us in the world. When you add up all of the tribes, well, only about 333 million are going to make it. 666 million people are going to die of our people because they won't repent. They're going to hear this word and be like, I'm not doing that. Fringes? I'm not wearing that. Like, right? Like, fringes. Could you show them what fringes is, brother? This is a commandment. We have to have that on our clothes. That's why we have it on our clothes. When you read Numbers chapter 7, Numbers chapter 15 and 38, it says you have to have fringes upon the borders of your garment and a ribbon of blue on top.
That's right.
When you watch, let me see, North American Indians. Remember, I'm saying that they're Israelites. Why did they have fringes with a ribbon of blue on top? Why did they wear clothes like this? This is what you see. This is what they wore. They are the Israelites. But you are the Israelites too. And we got to repent. We got to start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And we got to wear this all the time. This every day. You got a skirt, women, dresses and skirts, not supposed to be in pants. That's something our women got to repent of. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Look, I didn't mention it. I know it's coming up in questions. When we get to the question, I know it's coming. We'll deal with it there. What did I say get? What did I have you get? So just showing you the homeland. Read that.
Galatians 4 and 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
Jerusalem is the mother of us all. Even when you read back to Genesis and it's talking about the Garden of Eden, that's talking about in Jerusalem. That's where everything started at. That's the mother of everybody, not Africa. They tell you Africa. No, it's Jerusalem. They're close, but Jerusalem is the mother. Watch this. So I just want to show y'all something. This is a book called Our Living Bible. Watch this. This is a depiction in this book of Adam and Eve. That don't look like Edomites to me. This does not look like Edomites. Watch this. Oh, white people. Watch this. This is a depiction of Joseph when he was in Egypt, when he was trying to save, when he saved Israel from the famine and he saved Egypt from the famine. This is a depiction of Joseph. This is Joseph seated here. And you can read what's written over here in this book. This is the book. It's called Our Living Bible. You can go out and get these books. Any of these books? Oh, go ahead. So we were mistaken for Egyptians back in the day. That's why we're looking at this with our forefather Joseph. Matter of fact, let's get it real. Matter of fact, let's go to the New Testament and show you that they still mistook us for Egyptians. Let me get. You already know I want. Yeah, get that. He's going to Acts chapter 21, and we're going to start in verse 37. Even Joseph here, which was our forefather, and the forefather of the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans, he was mistaken for an Egyptian. We're going to read that. Get that for me? Get the Joseph in 42. Genesis chapter 42. Then now we about to, because right after this, we about to get into some color scriptures. We're going to get into some color, and I will show you the color in the Bible. We're going to tell you the color of God's people. We're going to find the color of God in the Bible. We can get the color of, we can get Jesus' color in the Bible. What he looked like. We can get that out of the Bible. You read 21, 37. No, I want you. Come on.
And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain.
So now we're dealing with the Apostle Paul. He's being led. He was captive. He's getting led away captive. Read.
May I speak unto thee?
So he asked the chief captain, "Can I speak to you?" Read.
Who said, "Canst thou speak Greek?"
He like, "Can you speak Greek?" He looking at what this black man doing speaking Greek. He like, "You can speak Greek." Read.
Art not thou that Egyptian?
The Greek guard, the guard said, "Ain't you that Egyptian?"
Which before these days made us an uproar.
Why did he think he was an Egyptian? Because he was black. They're like, "Oh, ain't you that Egyptian?" Watch this. Watch this one. This is Joseph, who we looking at this picture here. Our forefather Joseph. He's one of the forefathers of the tribes of Israel. This is, watch what he said about him. Watch this.
Genesis chapter 42 and verse 7.
Read.
And Joseph saw his brethren.
His Song of Solomon.
And he knew them.
So Joseph, once you read the history on this, Joseph got sold into slavery. And during the period of time, Joseph, they haven't seen him for years. And then they finally come because the famine had went to Canaan. So they had to go into Egypt because Egypt had food because Joseph put the plan together to maintain through the famine. So his brothers came to Egypt to buy food. But when they saw Joseph, Joseph dressed up like an Egyptian because he was made a ruler over the Egyptians. He was second only to Pharaoh. Like Pharaoh was the only one that was above him. So he ruled all of Egypt. And when they came, he dressed like an Egyptian, living like an Egyptian. And his brothers, see what they say about it? Read.
And Joseph saw his brethren.
So Joseph looked and he saw his brothers. Read.
And he knew them.
He recognized them. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's Judah, that's Naphtali, that's Reuben." Read.
But made himself strange unto them.
So he started acting strange to them. Read.
And spake roughly unto them.
He spake hard on them.
And he said unto them, "Whence come ye?" And they said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." And Joseph knew his brethren.
He recognized them.
But they knew not him.
But they didn't recognize Joseph. Why not? Because he was black just like the Egyptians. He blended right in. He got on Egyptian garb. They haven't seen him in like 14 years. He was a boy. He's a man now. They don't remember. And he's dressed up like an Egyptian. They didn't recognize him. So Joseph was black just like Paul was black, just like the original Egyptians. The actual Egyptians, those are Arabs and Ottoman Turks in the land right now. Those are not Egyptians. Watch this. Read, what the hell you get? Yeah, get that Song of Solomon. Watch this. Then I'm going to get something else out of this book.
Song of Solomon, 1 and 5. I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem,
He said, I am what?
I am black, but comely.
This is Solomon, King Solomon, the son of David, said what?
I am black, but comely.
I am black and beautiful. That's what he said. To who he talking to?
O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
He told the daughters of Jerusalem, I am black and beautiful. They don't read this in church. You ain't gonna get this because this is programmed scriptures that to take you. You're not gonna read none of this. This stuff is not gonna come out. Watch this. We're gonna go into this book. This book is again our Living Bible. We're gonna go to page 360. I want you to read the first 3 lines and stop at Jews. Because I just want to get a point out of this. And blow this up so y'all can read along. And then I want to look at this picture. Read that.
The church of Sardis, though corrupt, still has a number of pure and faithful members, worthy to wear white raiment. White was hallowed garb of purity among the pagans, as well as among the Christians and Jews.
Read on.
Thus the Israelite priests were dressed in white linen.
It says this is the Israelite priests dressed in white linen. Are those white men? No. Well, why are they telling us that? Hold on. Where did this come from? Where did this come from? Because this is what they're telling us is a Jew. And this is Israelites. This don't look nothing like what we just saw in this book. Nothing. This is the Israelites in this book. In ancient archaeology, this is what they look like. But now all of a sudden they're telling you is this. Watch this. Hold on, I want to get something real quick. Watch this. Did I put that in here? I don't think I did. Let me just look for it right quick. Because this brother name is Nassar. I forget his first name. He was the well, I'm gonna just pull it up. Let me just see where I did. Actually, there's too many pictures in here. But I'll skip that part. Skip that part. So I just want to go back to scriptures. Let me get Job 30 and 30. Watch this. Then you get Jeremiah 14 and 2. Watch this. We're gonna get some more color in the Bible. More color in the Bible. You already got it? Oh, he already got it. Jeremiah. You get Genesis 2 and 7. Get Job 30 and 30. Just go to skip that one. Give me Jeremiah 14 and 2. Read.
Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourneth.
Judah, when you look at the word Jew, it's short for Judah. So that's where it comes from. It's short for Judah. Read.
And the gates thereof languish.
Start from the beginning.
Judah mourneth. And the gates thereof languish.
The leaders are languishing. Read.
They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
Judah, the Jews are black. Read.
Unto the ground.
Why did it say unto the ground? Watch this. Read Genesis 2 and 7.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7.
Remember, we read in Isaiah 28, 9 and 10 that you have to read the Bible precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little, there a little. You're going to get a little understanding here. You got to put it together with some understanding there. It said, black unto the ground. Read this.
And the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground.
He made man of what?
Of the dust of the ground.
This is the dust of the ground. This is what he made man out of. So what color man is it going to be?
Brown.
That's why I said Judah mourneth, the gates are language, they are black unto the ground. And he made man of what?
From the dust of the ground.
He made man out of this. And the deeper you go, the darker it gets. We come in all different shades. So that's the thing. What I had you hold? Oh yeah, give me that Job 30 and 30.
Job 30:30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
Right. So that's it. So his skin was black upon him. He didn't say my mind, or I don't know, because they try to say when it reads black in the Bible that it mean he was sad. He said, no, my skin is black upon me. Skin. And he didn't say, it didn't have nothing to do with him being sad.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. You YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.